Live.
All right. Coming through. All right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mike Sims from Crown Town Cannabis. I just want to check in with you. I know it's been a while, but it's a big day here in North Carolina. A lot of movement in our political avenues. Not all good, not all bad, but a lot of movement in the cannabis industry. Particular, there's two things today that's going to be brought to the either Senate floor or House floor. We're trying to get confirmation on that. I believe it's coming to the House floor and then going to the Senate floor. I could be wrong. Either way, it's coming to a vote today, and that is Senate Bill. I guess it's going to Senate floor. Senate Bill 711 will be going for a vote today, also known as the Compassionate Care Act for North Carolina. Uh, Anything but compassionate. We'll get to that. But we also have another piece of legislation going to vote today. That's Senate Bill 762, also known as it's a bill to ultimately conform to the hemp laws of the federal law by permanently excluding hemp from the State Controlled Substances Act. So that is very positive for this industry. It's been this ongoing debate on is hemp, cannabis, hemp, marijuana, blah, 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 blah. And, we were facing some uncertainty with us ending the pilot program come July 30th and then going into July 1st or June 30th into July 1st. We would be transitioning from our pilot program to the USDA program. And in doing so, it kind of left us vulnerable in North Carolina laws of still recognizing hemp under the Controlled Substances Act. So it has bipartisan support, from what I've heard, to be passed today to ultimately permanently remove hemp from the Controlled Substances Act. So that is a positive. Um, this next one's going to sound weird, and I spoke about it sometime in the past, but it's now among us. We got Senate Bill 711, also known as Compassionate Care Act, and that is to legalize or medicinal cannabis or marijuana, and ultimately have a medical program for North Carolina. And what we've always been taught and what normal stance is, the organization normal stance is, and most people's stance is, hey, any progression forward in legalization is positive and a great movement. And I never thought I'd be sitting here saying that I've spent the last 24 hours trying to convince Republicans not to vote for cannabis. That's what I've been doing. Traditionally, Republicans have not supported this, and it's been all democratically supported. That's not political. That's facts. That's by the vote has what's been going down. Uh, so we now have Republican support for this vote. From my understanding, there's several people that have personal family that need cannabis now. So that's why this has some support. And I'm all about medical cannabis, but this bill has a lot of flaws and we worked through a lot of them. But ultimately, the biggest ones right now is as it's written and as it stands, as it's being voted on today, it ultimately leaves out North Carolinians. You know, One of the biggest things that has this horizontal, vertical, integration of a company that ultimately states you have to have 5 years medical growing experience, commercial growing experience to be considered for the license. And obviously, that does not qualify anybody in North Carolina. So that's a huge blow to those of us that have pioneered all of this and put in great amount of time and work, effort, and risk to bring this plant back to the legal sides and bring it to market. And we've been intricate in this whole thing and building this program with integrity and with viability and something that's lasted. And even with having zero support from the state, we've lasted and we've survived and we've kind of set our own bar and our own standards and testing. And I speak for us as an industry, but now it seems like we're being left out again with the Senate bill that ultimately just opens the door for outside interest and for multi-state operators. And I think there's a market for everyone, but you got to allow everyone in the market. And when you're only allowing multi-state operators to come in, 10 to be exact, and each of those 10 can only have 4 licenses. So only 40 dispensaries throughout the entire state that people could go get medical cannabis. And then they're taxing it so heavily that the prices are no doubt have to be raised for everybody to even make some money. And then you have a $50,000 buy-in. And from what I understand, on top of the $50,000 buy-in, you have to have $5 to $8 million liquid to even be considered beyond that. So, I never thought I'd be sitting here saying don't vote, but we have representatives right now in Raleigh. This is being brought up on a vote as we speak. I've been in contact with Taylin from Simply Extract. She's been on the show, and some other people in the industry, and they're up there now giving public opinion pieces and things before it goes to vote. But most likely it's going to pass, and it's going to go to either the House or the Senate. And forgive me, I'm a little frazzled today. I forget which way it goes, but it'll go up for a vote next, and then from there go to the governor's desk to be signed into law. So I want medical cannabis for everyone. I think all cannabis is medical, but that's a different show. But the people that need it the most are our poorest people in this community. The poorest people in the state need this plant the most. There's no home grow allowance in this bill. It's heavily taxed. You can only possess 1.5 ounces at a time. It doesn't really cover any kind of caregivers that would need to transport or pick this up for people that need it the most. It limits it to a very small amount of people that can even get it. You basically have to be dying, end of life, severe illness, have to be dying. And there's a committee now that you would meet before to get illnesses and things added. I think it's all for nothing. We've proven this over and over again, including the state right to our north in Virginia. The legalization is the only path. Full decriminalization is the only path. This is all just incremental steps to pad the pockets of corporations that are going to benefit the most. Meanwhile, the people that need this the most are going to suffer. They can't afford it. They're not going to be able to afford these prices. Insurance doesn't cover it. And not only that, with our current medical program, you would have to lose the rights to your firearms. So there's a huge problem with all of this. So with all that being said, right now, encourage your senators, your representatives, your House of Representatives, anybody politically you can get in touch with, and we'll put a link up with this of a list of senators in your area. And there's also links of websites you can go search to see who your representatives are. Let your voice be heard, whether you're for this or against it. Let it be heard. I've been in these meetings enough. I've been in these public hearings enough. Public pressure does change the thoughts and the vote process, sometimes a good bit of times with these politicians, because they look out, they see their constituents, they see the people that vote for them to keep them in their job, and they're realizing that something they're voting on they necessarily don't fully understand. And that happens quite often. A lot of times they don't read through these bills. They just vote on them. They vote in line with whatever their party's voting on. So here I am, Michael Sims, biggest cannabis advocate I know, asking to not vote for it. So obviously there's some issues in this bill. So as it stands right now, this is horrible for our industry. It's horrible for North Carolinians, and it only benefits a small few people, and it's coming at the cost of the people that can't afford to pay this the most. So if we really want to show compassion in this Compassionate Care Act, let's really put some compassion in it. Let's make these products, let's get a home grow. Let's get caretaker availability. Let's make it affordable for those that need it the most, our veterans, our first responders, our elderly, the people that are at end of life, don't have the income to buy these products. And they were talking about not only charging top retail dollar for it, but taxing it heavily to the manufacturers and retailers and the customers. So it's flawed. It was written by outside interest and lobbyists, and it needs a lot of work. It's come a long way, but it needs to go a long way. So in this moment for now, vote no for Senate Bill 711. Encourage your representatives to do so. I was hoping to get some kind of word from Taylin or someone to see if any kind of vote has happened thus far. And she just responded 2 minutes ago. It did pass. So we got a lot of work ahead of us. We don't need it to pass this next vote. We need to stop this, or at least revise it to where it does benefit North Carolinians. I've been in contact with North Carolina NORML, people within the industry, politicians, I'm trying to voice my opinion as much as possible, but I need your help. I need you guys to voice your opinion. Not only do we need medical cannabis, we need it the right way. And they're all touting and bloated about this whole bill. You know, the Republicans, all this is the best bill written. It's whatever, it's stringent, it's tight, it's the most, you know, conservative bill written. It sucks. It sucks. And it damages not only the people that need it the most, but those that have worked so hard to bring it to the state are being left out, just as we thought we would. So, you know, big tobacco, outside interests, large lobbyist groups, powerful lobbyist groups paid. That is what is making these laws. That's what's steering the ship right now. So if you have any compassion and you do care and you do want to see adult legal cannabis or medical cannabis brought to the state the right way, please voice your opinion. Please check the link below that we'll post here in a minute to see who your senator or representative is. We also have a list we can post. Get involved. Let your voice be heard. There's people out there. There's elderly. There's people every day, you know, not at end of life that need this product to get through life, to survive, to, you know, cope with anxiety and PTSD and so many ailments that this plant heals. And what's so frustrating is I sit here and tell you this, we've been told for so many years it's unsafe, and now we're fighting over, you know, not the safety of it, but who gets paid on it. And meanwhile, while we're passing yet another medical bill in another state, federally, it still sits at Schedule 1, meaning it has zero medical benefit, no medicinal benefit whatsoever. Schedule 1. So the whole damn system's broken. Get involved. Do what you can. Thank you for taking this time to listen to me. If you have any questions, shoot us a question in the DM. You got any coming up there now? You're answering them. All right. And, you know, as always, man, we love you guys. We love the support. We've overcome a lot in 4 years in this program in North Carolina. We have a long way to go. Crown Town itself, we're multi-state as well. We're in South Carolina, North Carolina, and we'll be opening something in Virginia very soon. So, you know, we've seen states do it the right way and the wrong way. We want this for North Carolina more than anything. Our farmers need it. We need jobs. We need income. We need income for mental health. We need income for infrastructure, affordable housing. This checks so many boxes that we could fix. Ultimately, law enforcement is getting paid off of search and seizure from this. Big Pharma is getting paid by it not existing. And alcohol doesn't want it to exist because it hurts their business. So right there are the lobbyist groups we're fighting. And that's what we're up against. So if you have any compassion, if you have any care, please write your senator. Please write your representative. Tell them, please reconsider voting on this bill as it stands. There are some adjustments that could be made to it to include North Carolina farmers and, you know, and entrepreneurs that would be great and inclusive. But as it stands right now, we're all being left out, and it's all going to outside interests. So as always, love each and every one of you. Peace, love, and cannabis. Thanks.